All right, well, I think that's a wrap for that one. I mean, it was a pretty successful roundabout. There was there was quite a few people at the Mohawk Park, and it seemed like a fitting place to have it, since it seemed like a fitting place to have, well, yeah, to have that and the counter protest, because it means like, I mean, that's where the gay guys like to hang out, is Mohawk Park. I've noticed that it's almost like a cruising park. That's where gay guys like to cruise, and they like to find their sexual encounters. They even just like, they just cruise the area just to find random guys that are there waiting for sex and waiting for blowjobs. So it's like, uh, pardon if I said blowjobs, and it's an offensive word, but that is exactly what they teach in the schools and the books now. So how to give those things, and how to do oral and things like that. So it's like, I should have said oral maybe, but yeah, it's hilarious, because that's exactly where they do gather. Because I remember one time when I was at Mohawk Park, and they actually put something on my windshield wiper, and they had a note. It was a love note. They said they could give me a blow. They said they could give me oral. And I was there with my wife and my children, and it was just ridiculous. It's like, is this what Brantford has become? And that was when I lived in Brantford. We lived in a small little house on Wilk Street, which I'm going to check out. I'm going to go and look at it. I'll show you on the thing. I can see where I used to live. And it was a small, tiny little place, but it was a good place. We called it home, and it was a really good place. I liked it there. It was nice. The neighbors weren't too great, but I mean the neighborhood, the place was nice. But I mean, I really outgrew Brantford, because I didn't like the big city feeling, and it seemed like it seemed to develop this downtown feeling, almost like downtown Toronto, and not that congested, but it's just that had that feeling. It was just a lot of grime and a lot of crime, and I didn't like it. So we went to a quieter area, and we bought a place out for a quieter area for the kids. Still had problems with neighbors, but it's a nice place. It's a good place. We have a lower mortgage, so it's not bad. I actually love it. Couldn't change too much about that, but yeah, it was a good turnout. A lot of people out there, and the counter protesters. There's about 50 of those, maybe 30, maybe 40 to 50 counter protesters. They didn't like me going up to them, close to them, and taking video. They tried to block me, tried to get in front of me, and wouldn't answer any questions. Like, I didn't ask them any like serious questions. I asked them, what are they trying to hide there? Why are they blocking my camera? They wouldn't answer me. Like, what are you trying to hide? Like, seriously. But yeah, this short little chubby, I guess lesbian woman kept trying to get in front of the camera. I'm like, well, what are you trying to block? And then they tried to block it with a flag. Tried to wave a flag. They went up to the person, told them to wave the flag in front of the camera. I'm like, well, what's that going to do? Like, seriously. These are the tactics of people who have something to hide. That's why we didn't hide anything. Like, in the whole protest, they were open. They were clear about their intentions. And their intentions are to change legislation and to change, basically, what's going on in the schools. Change what material is taught out in there. I can't even speak right now. Change the material that's taught in there. Change the material that is going in there for the children to peruse. Like, we don't want pornographic material. The one guy was showing me some of the pornographic material they have in the schools. It's a book, and it's disgusting. It was showing oral. It was showing how to do it, and it was showing how to finger people. It's like, this is what's in the schools, and that's pornography. I mean, there's a reason why, in order to go to the store and buy a pornographic magazine, you got to be, I don't even know the age anymore. I think it's 18, but yeah, you got to be 18 to smoke. You got to be 18 to buy them, 19 to buy them, and to drink. You got to be 19 to buy that. Why are there age limits? Because they can't make rational decisions at such a young age. Underneath those ages, they can't really make rational life decisions. So that is why you can't really make a rational life decision you can't really make a rational life decision in regards to gender, in regards to puberty blockers and hormone blockers. You can't make a rational decision at a prepubescent age. I know their argument. Their argument is, well, you have to get it before puberty. You have to put it on pause. But you know, it's hilarious because you don't put it on pause. What that does is that blocks the developmental phase entirely. It doesn't pause it because you can't pause it. You can't pause it. You're doing permanent damage because what you're not, you think you're pausing it, but you're not. You can't pause it for 6 months and then go put it back on the rails. You can't. You've already knocked that train off the rails at that point. And you're already on a trajectory where you're going to have some massive health issues just because you're blocking the natural development of your body. Like people start to have like osteoporosis and things like that. Their bones are starting to get weak. Their teeth are getting weak. Things are just not developing the way that God intended them to develop. You can't just pause it. You can't just restart it because it doesn't happen that way. Life does not happen that way. That's my rant. And this is likely going to be the first video that I have on Canadian circus. So that was the whole Million Man March or Million Person March, because it wasn't just men, it was women too, and children. So a Million Person March, and that's just obviously not a million person in Brantford, but it's supposed to be a million nationwide. I don't know if we got that. Probably did though, considering how many places were doing it. And we had probably 300 to 400 people, if not more, in Brantford alone. So, and that was in the Mohawk Park. Then we dispersed and went 5 different ways, which was good also because it actually split up the anti-protest, because they had to split up into 5 different factions now too. So when we went to the Erie District School Board, there ended up only being 2 protesters at that site, and we had probably 200, if not a little more. At least 175 to 200 people showed up there, and you'll see in the video because I got that on film too, and you're going to see that in the next video I put out. It was a really successful protest in my opinion, and this is just a start. As they said, there's a lot of interviews, or well, not interviews, but there's a lot of speakers. You'll see the speakers, some of the main speakers here in Brantford. I've got that. I'll section those off and kind of timestamp them so you can actually jump to the ones you want to see. There was an emotional one where a lady was talking about how the kid kept coming home and talking to her, asking her questions about this transgender nonsense. And it's like she was getting pretty upset because the kid's always asking her about the transgender stuff. And it's like she's having to explain to her every single day, trying to beat this stuff back out of the kid's head. And they keep trying to beat it back in. It's like it's a struggle. It's a struggle, and it's a tug of war where they're constantly going back and forth. They go to school, they get taught the nonsense. They go back home, you got to rip that nonsense back out again. So it's a constant battle back and forth of good and evil to try and win back our kids, and that does a lot of emotional damage on a kid's psyche and on a parent's psyche as well. It's not just the kids; it's the parents that are getting damaged emotionally as well. It says this is heavy stuff, man. This is not stuff that should be taught at such a young age. This is stuff that should be taught by only the parents. That's my rant. Stay tuned because I'm going to have more coming. We're going to have a lot more of these videos where we go to these protests, or I go to these protests, and I'm going to show you guys what's going on at these things. It's very peaceful. And yeah, even the anti-protests, they're peaceful too, which is good. This is what we should have. The only thing I would say, like, next time, like, if you guys are watching this video when I put it up there, try not to block the camera because it makes it look like you have something to hide. I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying it looks like you have something to hide. So just let us see. I mean, if you got nothing to hide, if you're there doing a real anti-protest, then just let me see. Come talk to me. I want to see where you are. I want to see where you are. I want to see what your stance is on this. I know your stance, kind of offhand, but I want to know what your concern is. You say protects trans kids. I want to know what you mean by that. So please, I'm serious. I'm not flippant. I want to know what you were afraid of. So please come talk to me. When I come talk to you, when I come ask you questions, please just give me honest answers. I'm just looking for honest answers. I don't want to have these gotcha questions. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you are concerned about. So, if you're watching this, please like and subscribe, and come watch my videos. You'll see I'm trying my best to be impartial. It's not easy because I do have my viewpoints, and I know you have yours, but I'm trying my best to be impartial. So come talk to me. You'll get an honest shake. I'm not gonna be a jerk. I'm gonna ask honest questions, and I'm gonna expect honest answers. So come talk to me, and I hope to see you. Peace.